Hi, my name is Jeff Wheeler. I'm with Nexthermal Corporation. I'm here to talk a little bit about the programming of our new temperature controller system that we've developed for the market. Before I get into the actual programming technique, I want to talk a little bit about the resources that are available to you as a customer. When you decide to buy one of these on our website, we will have available two resources. One is a form, and you can download this form. This is going to be a document you can complete, and the form goes through all the options that the controller is capable of being programmed with. And you can fill this out, send it in with your order for the controller, and we will go through and pre-program the controller with the settings that you've indicated on this form. And that means when you receive the controller, it's a matter of plugging in the heater, plugging in the sensor, and turning the power on and using it right out of the box. So this is a resource available to you that makes it even easier for you to install and use. If for some reason you're not able to do this or don't want to do this, in our website we also have the manual for the controller. This manual is 54 pages long, and it gets very much into the weeds if you want to. So it depends on your level of experience programming controllers and what kind of functions you want to have done. You're welcome to download this and read it, and also follow this for programming too. What I'm going to do basically today is to cover how to turn it on, how to set the temperature, how to set the thermocouple input, and program the auto tuning function so the controller will automatically learn its PID values. All right, so with that being said, I've already plugged the controller into power. I've already set a thermocouple into the input port on the side here, so it will register a temperature. I do not have a heater connected. I do not have an alarm or anything like that connected, but those are all available for you to use. And when you buy a controller, it comes with all those plugs already ready to be installed. So first step is turn the main power on. You notice nothing else lit up other than the Nexthermal logo. This indicates that the control panel has power, and power is applied to the input terminals here. So there's live electricity inside, but nothing is going to happen yet. Nothing is active on the side panel yet. To turn the controller on, I turn the controller switch on, and it will light up. Now, the green light will indicate that the controller has power, and the display turns on. And you can see it's registering 24.3 degrees C in here, and it's just sitting there idle right now. So the very first thing we want to do when we set up the controller is we need to tell it what kind of sensor we have attached to it. This can use a type J, a type K, it can use an RTD, it can use a number of different types of sensors as inputs. In the manual, on page 12, is a chart, and it shows all the different types of sensors that you can plug into the controller. So, I'm going to go through and show you how to change the thermocouple input on this controller. Right now, to access the menu, there are three levels of menu. The first level is location 800. So I'm going to press and hold the N button for a couple seconds, and you can see the control change to LOC, LOC 0. To access the menu, I need to scroll over and scroll up to 800. Once I do that and hit the enter button, the display changes. High alarm limit is the first selection. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to hit the enter button and scroll through until you see the word INT. INT is the sensor input, and you can see on the manual it says right here, select INT function. The number corresponds to the type of sensor. So right now it's set to 0. 0 is a type K. Let's say instead I'm using a type J, I need to change this number to 5. Change the number to 5, I just use the up arrow to 5, and I hit the enter button, and it moves on to the next prompt automatically. I'm not going to worry about what DP means at this point. Now I just told it that whatever sensor I plug in is going to be a type J thermocouple, and when I get to the main temperature screen, it's going to register the correct temperature. This is measuring right now in degrees C. Let's say I want to change it to degrees F. Once again, press and hold. Location 800. Over. Up. Enter. And in this case, I'm going to be looking for the type, or for the C or F. And that is going to be DU. I'm going to change this to F. Enter. And now it is showing degrees F. That is the active temperature. The number down below here is your set point that you're going to be running the control system to monitor and maintain. To change this value, I don't need to get into a menu. I just use the over arrow. And let's say I want to run at 200 degrees. 200 degrees, notice there's a decimal point here, degrees F, and as soon as it stops flashing, I didn't even have to hit the enter button, it's now programmed to 200 degrees. So if I had a heater plugged into this, it would be climbing, this temperature would be climbing, this is your actual temperature, until it reached 200 degrees F. Now if this is the first time you're using a controller, you may need to do an auto tuning function. And let me just recap real quick here. To enter the menu, in our manual, we have step-by-step pictures showing the inputs that you need to do to make the changes. This is how you change the thermocouple, for instance. This is the next step for auto tuning. So auto tuning is very simple. I'm just going to press the arrow button for 2 seconds. It says it's in off mode right now. I'm going to change that to on and enter. And now you can see it's alternating between the set point and AT. That means if there was a heater connected to the control panel right now, it would be powering the heater up. It might go over set point. It could go over set point by about 30 degrees, and it will modulate between up and below set point as the controller learns the proportional, integral, and derivative bands in order to maintain the temperature at set point. Once the process is done, the AT will stop flashing, and the temperature that you're asking it to control to and the actual temperature will be very, very tightly controlled because the controller has learned what the process is asking the controller to adapt to. Another way of programming the controller is through our NextConnect app that is available on our website for download, and it's exclusively for Android. We do not support Apple at this time. So if you have an Android device, you're able to plug your phone into the controller and directly program the controller through a USB cable. So in the kit, when you buy the controller, it comes with a USB cable and a USB adapter, depending on what port, either C or B, that your phone uses, you're able to plug your phone in. So on the side of the box, here is a USB port, and it's a simple matter of plugging in the USB cable, which you have to do twice because you never get it right the first time, into your phone. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've already downloaded the NextConnect app. And when you start the app, that's what the logo looks like. When you start the app, it comes up with a warning box. Basically, don't drive with this application operating. It says something similar, but I'm not going to read it. Just hit the OK button to clear the warning box. The display at this point is blank because I'm not plugged into anything, but as soon as I plug in the USB cable, because the controller is on, the display will update once I hit the OK button to the same temperature that's on the display is now shown here in green. That's the current temperature. You can see the set point value is set to 200 degrees, just like the controller says 200 degrees. In this application, you can very easily set alarm conditions. You can set the temperature units. You can set auto tuning mode. Right now it's flashing. It means that the auto tuning mode is active, which is shown here from the AT flashing. I'm going to turn that off. And running status is indicated stop mode because it's not running any kind of programming. The controller is capable of ramp soak programming. That's where the run stop comes in. There is a second screen here that is more advanced, so you can set alarm output mode. So if alarm 1 is triggered, what is supposed to happen? Is it supposed to sound alarm through the output contacts? RS-485 communication settings, which are handled through the USB cable, so we don't have to worry about those. Advanced control parameters, like control mode is set right now for fuzzy plus PID. We can also change that mode to different types of PVT, SVT, but on off. But typically what you want to stay is fuzzy PID. Control hysteresis is something you might have to play with once you are using the controller and you find that it's not accurately maintaining the set point. That might be a value that you want to work with. PID values are all settable on this screen also, but if you've done auto tuning, you won't even have to mess with those. So essentially, to program here, I'm going to set my temperature set point, set for 200 degrees right now. I'm going to change this to 400 degrees, for instance. Save. 400 degrees, 400 degrees. So rather than messing with going through the LOC, setting the 100 level, scrolling through all the inputs that are not important to you, you can very easily set it on the phone. And once you're done, unplug it, and the controller is ready to operate. One other feature that the NextConnect app has to help a user program the controller, if there's any questions through the 3 bars up here at the top in the menu, there is troubleshooting, and troubleshooting lists a common problem that you might have and a potential solution. So sensor error, blinking text, if you click on that, it explains a little bit about what the controller is trying to tell you to do and what's a good way to fix the problem. If you have any questions about the way this is programmed or any questions about the controller whatsoever, feel free to reach out to your local sales representative and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.